All right, well, the national anthem has been played. Joe Sablak is on the hill for Waynesburg, and baseball ready to be played this afternoon. It's just about 50 degrees at the Waynesburg University baseball field. A kind of brisk day, but still not bad. The sun's shining, so the warmth is present with a little breeze coming in from the left. Joe Sablak pitching to Chris Lee. Chris Lee, a senior on this team, had a couple home runs in the series against Geneva. Waynesburg split that series with Geneva, but lost 2 games that counted toward their PAC record, which will count in the standings. This year's a little different. Every team will play each PAC opponent 4 times, but only 3 of them will count toward PAC records, which means that 4th game is just for repetitions, just an extra game to play in the season. Also, when games are scheduled, they've been scheduled this year for each opponent to play each other 4 straight times. So you can't go on to another series if you've already started against another opponent. So Waynesburg series against Chatham will be rescheduled. All 4 games will be rescheduled consecutively, and they're trying to do that to limit how much contact it takes place between each team. So they just want 1 straight 4-game run through with Waynesburg playing each PAC opponent and then moving on. And that's the same for every PAC team this year. Every schedule has 1 series against 1 opponent for 4 games and then moving on to the next. But each game in the series, there's 2 home and 2 away games in each set, or in each series. So every team has an opportunity to play 2 games at home against every PAC opponent. Standing in now, the left-handed hitter for Westminster, it's Austin Webb playing second base. Left-handed hitter facing the right-handed pitcher, and Joe Sablak's first pitch is grounded foul. On 2 hops, hit the Waynesburg dugout on the third base line, strike 1. This game just getting underway. Westminster College playing Waynesburg University in baseball. Game 1 of a 2-game set, and this first game is a full 9 innings. The 0-1 misses high, counts 1-1. Joe Sablak from Bell Vernon High School. Sablak stands at 6'4", 230 pounds on the mound. The 1-1 pitch is fouled back toward the screen behind home plate. Now the count's 1-2. Well, you hear the wind a little bit. That breeze is coming through. So it makes it a little chilly, but again, the sun's still shining down, so you feel some of that warmth kind of balances out. 1-2's in the dirt, counts 2-2. Also here at the field, there's a creek behind the left field wall. So sometimes the draft from the water kind of comes up and creates a little bit more of a cold effect. 2-2 pitch from Sablak is hit in the air towards shallow right center field. Under it's Evan Homison for Waynesburg, and Homison makes the catch. So Austin Webb, the leadoff hitter for Westminster, is out. And that'll bring up the left fielder now, Dawson Porter, for Westminster. So the defensive alignment for Waynesburg as Porter steps in. Chris Lee doing the catching, Justin Clevenger at first, Nolan Vertulo at second. First pitch is tapped down the third base line and foul. Strike 1 on Porter. But playing shortstop, Ty Kildall. Playing third, Mike Bell. In left field, Joe Kraft. In center, Evan Homison. And in right field, Brandon Durbin. Brandon Durbin used to play infield for Waynesburg in his first 2 years, but was transitioned to an outfielder. That pitch misses outside. Count is 1-1. Now he's playing right field with a strong arm and the athleticism and agility to move around the outfield. Righty on righty matchup, 1-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swing, and that's popped into the air behind home plate. Chris Lee looks for it and loses it. That'll land foul behind home plate. Now the count is 1-2. Joe Sablak ahead. But Dawson Porter for Westminster, 6'1" junior from Katanning, Pennsylvania. Went to Armstrong Area High School. 1-2 pitch from Sablak, 1 out, swing, and a fly ball towards shallow right center field. Evan Homison running, he dives, and there's a collision with Brandon Durbin. The ball falls, and Dawson Porter makes his way into second base. So good hustle from Porter to continue to run as that ball was in the air. That ball was toward right center field. Evan Homison dove for it with Brandon Durbin. They collided with each other. No injury on that play, but the ball did drop, netting Dawson Porter 2 bases. He's in scoring position with 1 out.
Just a miscommunication there from the Yellow Jackets in the outfield.
Right-handed hitter steps in now, Logan Marjanovic, the starting shortstop for Westminster. First pitch from Sablak's on the ground, right side. Diving backhanded stop by Clevenger. He steps on the first base bag with his left leg and records the out. So that'll go down as a 3 unassisted in the scorebook, but Dawson Porter from second advances to third on the play. So with 2 outs and a runner on third, cleanup hitter James Diamond, and also the first baseman of Westminster, will come to the plate. No score. Top of the first inning. This game just getting underway. This baseball game just getting underway between Westminster and Waynesburg. Breaking ball called a strike at the knees of James Diamond. Counts 0-1. Dawson Porter on third. He just doubled into the right center field gap. Now James Diamond batting with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Breaking ball popped into the air right in the middle of the infield. Ty Kildow raises his arms to call it. Then he snatches it with 2 hands. And the inning comes to a close. So for Westminster, no runs on 1 hit and 1 runner left on base through a half inning. It's Westminster 0, Waynesburg coming to bat. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ, simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ FM, your home for everything Waynesburg, Waynesburg University's radio station. And there's also a simulcast going on the PAC Digital Network, so you might be watching this game as well. But I'm Nicholas Callas. Right now, Tyler Zeman with me. Westminster got 1 hit in their top of the first inning, but failed to score. Now Waynesburg will get its first opportunity to hit in the bottom of the first inning. Top 3 hitters up for Waynesburg: Cody Ray, Nolan Vertulo, and Mike Bell. And Mike Bell, quite a sensation for Waynesburg to start his freshman career. A 7-game hitting streak. He got a hit in all 4 games against Grove City and 3 of the 4 games against Geneva, but didn't get a hit in that 4th game, which ended the hitting streak. But still, he's been somebody that's been exciting to watch so far. Young talent, essentially coming out of nowhere to play well here at Waynesburg. Cody Ray comes to the plate, right-handed hitter. But Mike Humiston said he was shocked that Mike Bell had such success when he came around. He didn't seem like anything super special right away coming out. Just a kid who wanted to play baseball here, but he ended up doing well, and right now he's been the consistent number 3 hitter for Waynesburg. And he's been versatile as well, as that pitch is fouled off by Cody Ray, strike 1. Mike Bell, so far for Waynesburg, has played center field, first base, and third base. He's a versatile guy, and in the most recent games Waynesburg has played, he's been the third baseman. But Cody Ray up now, a sophomore on this Waynesburg team, facing the left-hander on the mound, Logan Exler. That ball popped into the air. Shallow outfield. The catch made by the second baseman, Austin Webb. That's out number 1, so Cody Ray pops out to start Waynesburg's offensive half of the first. And now standing in for Waynesburg, Nolan Vertulo, the freshman second baseman, right-handed hitter, steps in against the left-handed pitcher, Logan Exler. But Exler's a 6'2" freshman from Verona, Pennsylvania, went to Sarah Catholic High School. First pitch misses low to Vertulo. That's ball 1. 1 out, no score, bottom of the first. Waynesburg playing Westminster in baseball, and Waynesburg is the home team in this game. The Waynesburg University baseball field is the venue for this baseball game. 2-0 count now on Nolan Vertulo as that pitch misses inside. The dimensions of Waynesburg's field and left, and the corner is 325, so it favors right-handed hitters. Right field is 340 feet away from home plate as that pitch is called a strike at the knees. Counts 2-1. Center field is about 395 feet away, but the deepest part of the ballpark is 400 feet, about 5 feet to the left of second base. There's a little notch out in left center field where the deepest part of the ballpark is if you're looking from the catcher's perspective. Grounded to third base. Krosick throws to Diamond for the out, so Nolan Vertulo grounds out to third base for the second out of this bottom of the first inning. And now that'll bring up Mike Bell, starting at third base in this game and batting left-handed. So a lefty-on-lefty matchup in this plate appearance. 2 outs, bases empty, no score between Westminster and Waynesburg. It's bottom of the first inning. Logan Exler on the mound. He's throwing from the windup. Steps with his left, pivots with his right, and now throws. That ball popped into the air on the infield, right around second base, but it's caught by Marjanovic, the shortstop, in a quick inning for Westminster on defense. So for Waynesburg on offense, no runs on no hits and no runners left on base through 1 full inning. No score between Westminster and Waynesburg. You're listening to WCYJ simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ FM, your home for everything Waynesburg, and there's a simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. Joe Sablak threw his last warm-up pitch. It kind of fell down, so now head coach Mike Humiston coming out to the mound to take a look at Joe Sablak. But Mike Humiston, the head coach of Waynesburg, he's been the head coach for 16 seasons and was an assistant prior to 2006 for 8 seasons. He was also an assistant for Waynesburg's last PAC championship, which was won in 1998. Tyler Zeman, I got a trivia question for you.
Yes.
Do you know what member of Waynesburg University's baseball team in 1998 was the most valuable player and on that championship team for Waynesburg? And he's a staff member at Waynesburg right now.
Is it Professor Krause?
It's not Professor Krause. No, it's not Professor Krause, but here's the number 5 hitter for Westminster.
I knew he played baseball, so.
Tyler Barnott. Adam Jack, the athletic director.
Gotcha.
First pitch called a strike, lower outside corner. Joe Sablak is okay, but 5-6-7 due up for Westminster. Tyler Barnott, Seth Schrader, and Frank Sinicola. The 3 due up for Westminster in this half inning. 0-1 pitch is swung on and fouled off the mask of Chris Lee. Count now 0-2. But yeah, Adam Jack was a pitcher, and he was the PAC most valuable player in baseball that season. And now he works at Waynesburg. He's the chair of the Department of Criminal Justice at Waynesburg University, and a couple years ago was hired as the athletic director. But he was a baseball superstar back in the late 90s. That ball fouled off. The count's still 0-2 on the number 5 hitter and right fielder for Westminster, Tyler Barnott. Joe Sablak comes set. Joe Sablak throwing from the stretch, unlike Logan Exel, his mound opponent, who throws from a windup. Logan Exler, but that ball fouled off by Tyler Barnott, so he'll see another 0-2 pitch. Top of the second inning, no score between Waynesburg and Westminster. Joe Sablak steps off. Tyler Barnott, a 5'10" graduate senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, went to Bethel Park High School, the same high school that Mason Miller graduated from. Swing and a miss. Joe Sablak picks up his first strikeout of the game, and that's the first out of this top of the second inning. Seth Schrader will come to the plate. Right-handed hitter steps in against the right-handed pitcher. Seth Schrader playing center field in this game. Sablak comes set. Leg kick and pitch. Breaking ball just a bit outside. Counts 1-0. In the first inning, Westminster got a double from Dawson Porter, the number 2 hitter, but the other 3 hitters that batted that inning all recorded outs. That pitch misses outside. Another breaking ball thrown by Sablak. Counts 2-0. Hitters count on Schrader at the plate. Waynesburg didn't get any hits in that bottom of the first inning, so offense coming sparingly in the first inning. Through the early parts of this game, that ball fouled off by Schrader beyond the fence down the first base line. Now the count is 2-1. Two-one count. 1 out. That ball misses low. Counts 3-1. Still no score. Top of the second inning. Westminster playing Waynesburg. Seth Schrader at the plate. He's a junior from Fredonia, New York. Count full 3-2. That pitch called a strike right over the middle of the plate to Schrader. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on Seth Schrader. Joe Sablak pitching. The defense for Waynesburg playing straight up. Strike 3 called over the lower outside corner of the plate. Seth Schrader, the second strikeout victim to Joe Sablak. And the second out of this top of the second inning. 2 outs, bases empty. Frank Sinicola, the 7 hitter for Westminster, coming up, and he is the designated hitter of this game. First pitch is called a strike right over the middle of the plate. Count 0-1. Joe Sablak dropped the throw back from Chris Lee. Sinicola has a wide open stance, so his front foot is positioned about 2 feet away from his back foot. Quite a bizarre batting stance as that one's hit out toward right field, hugging the line. Brandon Durbin over to make the catch about 20 feet away from the wall. And that'll end the top of the second inning. So for Westminster, no runs on no hits and no runners left on base after an inning and a half No score between Westminster and Waynesburg in this baseball game. You're listening to WCYJ, simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ FM, simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. Bottom of the second inning rolling around. A scoreless game between Waynesburg and Westminster. 4-5-6 hitters do it for Waynesburg to start this half inning. Brandon Durbin, Chris Lee, and Joe Kraft. But no score. Waynesburg still with no hits against Logan Exler through one inning. Westminster got a hit in the first inning, but failed to get any base runners in the top of the second. Quick look at the standings. We're not going to go all the way, but there are 10 teams participating in baseball this season. And we're covering the bottom two right now. Westminster, 2-7 PAC record, 4-8 overall. Waynesburg at the bottom, 10 of 10 teams as that ball's landed to center field. Brandon Durbin, that's the first hit for Waynesburg University on the first pitch of this bottom of the second inning. That'll bring up Chris Lee, but back to the standings again. Westminster, 9 of 10 teams. They're 2-7 with a 4-8 overall record, and Waynesburg is last. 10 of 10 teams. Waynesburg has a 1-5 PAC record and a 2-6 overall record, but that doesn't count their series against their series against Chatham, because that series got postponed. So they've played less games than some of the other teams this season. Swing and a miss. Counts 0-1. Brandon Durbin on first base, and Chris Lee, the batter at the plate, right-handed hitter facing the left-handed pitcher. But at the top of the PAC standings, it's Washington and Jefferson. W&J has yet to lose a game this season. They've got a 9-0 PAC record and a 12-0 overall record. That ball fouled off by Chris Lee. The count is 0-2 on him. Fouled off on the third base line. Chris Lee is senior. You'll mainly see him designated hitting or playing catcher or first base, so a bit versatile. Last series, he had 2 home runs. That was against Geneva. 0-2 is called. A strike over the outside edge. Chris Lee down looking. First strikeout for Logan Exler. 1 out. Bottom of the second, and that'll bring up Joe Kraft, the left fielder of Waynesburg. No score between Westminster and Waynesburg. Bottom of the second inning. And 1 out. As Joe Kraft is up to the plate, he check swings, but that's called a strike anyway. Counts 0-1. Joe Kraft also had a home run in the series against Geneva. He hit his home run in Game 2 of the series, which was at this field. Again, left field only 325 feet away from home plate, so it favors the powerful right-handed hitters in a lineup. Swing, line drive, into right field for a base hit. It's played by Barnott in right field. He gets it in quickly to second base. So 2 singles for Waynesburg in this half inning have put a runner at first and a runner at second with 1 out. And that'll bring up the left-handed hitter and first baseman for Waynesburg, Justin Clevenger. Logan Exler got through the first inning throwing under 10 pitches, and now this second inning, he's given up 2 hits. Brandon Durbin singled. He's on second base. Joe Kraft also singled. He's on first. Clevenger at the plate. Lefty-on-lefty matchup. Breaking ball over the lower inside corner. Called a strike. Counts 0-1. In the middle of those singles, Chris Lee struck out, so he's the only out recorded from this bottom of the second inning so far. Sizable lead by Durbin on second base. Exler comes set at the belt and throws to Clevenger. That ball skied into right field. Barnott under it. He makes the catch and throws it into the cutoff man. But Brandon Durbin able to take a base on that flyout. So Justin Clevenger flies out to right. Brandon Durbin advances from second to third on the play. Joe Kraft elected to stay at first base. So that puts runners on the corners with 2 outs. And number 8 hitter Evan Homison is coming to the plate. Evan Homison is a junior on this team. He's versatile as well. He played some catcher early in his career, but toward these later years, he's played left and right field. Center field is a position that you don't typically see him at, but that's where he's starting in this game. Joe Kraft leads off first. Swing and a fly ball by Homison. Hit out to straightaway center field. Back at the wall goes the center fielder Schrader, and he makes the catch around left center field, about 5 feet from the warning track, so that ends the second inning. For Waynesburg, no runs on 2 hits, no errors committed by Westminster, and Waynesburg left 2 runners on base through 2 full innings of play. No score between Westminster and Waynesburg in baseball. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ FM, and you're watching the simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ, Waynesburg University's radio station, and you also might be watching the simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. Either way, good to bring you baseball in early April. I'm Nicholas Callas, Darian Allensworth with me. Waynesburg leading this game 4-0 against Westminster, top of the 7th inning coming around. This is inning 7 of a 9-inning game. 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Westminster in this half inning. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up. James Diamond, Tyler Barnott, and Seth Schrader. First pitch hit on the ground up the middle past second base and into center field. So on one pitch, James Diamond leads off with a single. He's on first with his first hit of the game. A ball that was grounded, both middle infielders killed out of the shortstop, and Vertulo, the second baseman, went for it, but out of both of their reaches and found the outfield. So now here's the number 5 hitter, Tyler Barnott. A strikeout in the second and a fly out to center field in the fourth. There's a pop-up toward the left side of the outfield and left center field. Joe Kraft lost it in the wind, and it falls. So the second hit of the inning, 2 pitches, 2 hits. Net 2 base runners for Westminster to start this top of the 7th inning. James Diamond on second and Tyler Barnott on first, but that ball was popped up into the shallow outfield. Both Joe Kraft and Evan Homicide went out to try to field it. Joe Kraft seemed to have a beat on it, but then he lost it. He dove to his glove side and couldn't catch it. Evan Homicide didn't dive, seemed smart there to avoid injury. He picked it up, though, and relayed it in. Now, first pitch called a ball to Seth Schrader, the center fielder, so 1-0 count on him with James Diamond on second and Tyler Barnott on first. It's 4-0. Waynesburg leads Westminster in this baseball game. Top of the 7th inning, Joe Sablek still on the mound for Waynesburg. He's throwing from the stretch. 1-0 pitch is lined into left field, base hit. Joe Kraft will play it on 3 hops. The runner on third held as that ball is relayed into Mike Bell. 3 singles to start the top of the 7th for Westminster, and that brings the potential tying run to the plate now, Frank Sinicola. Joe Sablek, 6+ innings on the mound now. He's given up no runs so far on 5 hits. He's also struck out 5, but the toughest situation in baseball to face without allowing a run. Bases loaded, nobody out in an inning, and timeout called now by Perry Cunningham, Waynesburg University's pitching coach. He'll go out to the mound and talk to Joe Sablek, joined by catcher Chris Lee. Perry Cunningham for Waynesburg. He pitched in an independent league for 4 years, from 2003 to 2007. He's semi-famous. If you look up his name in Google Images, you'll find his baseball card. He was a pitcher, again, for 4 years in professional baseball, and now is the pitching coach here at Waynesburg University. He joins Mike Humiston's pitching staff. Some other events going around PAC. Men's track and field happening today, and baseball. There's no softball today, but several other games taking place today in baseball. Doubleheader between Washington and Jefferson and Geneva. Doubleheader between Grove City and Teal, and a doubleheader between Bethany and Chatham. So now coming up to the plate is number 7 hitter and designated hitter Frank Sinicola. He takes ball 1 in the dirt. Counts 1-0. Joe Sablek struggling to start this top of the 7th inning. Couple of bullpen arms up for Waynesburg. Zach Straub, the senior, and Ryan Sullivan, the freshman. That's a breaking ball called a strike over the outside edge. Count is 1-1. Joe Sablek started this ball game. Now he's pitching into the 7th. Again, this is a 9-inning game. Hasn't given up a run yet. 1-1 count is, that pitch is hit on the ground past the infield for a hit. 1 run comes around to score, second being waived. So Westminster has scored 2 runs, both runners safe. That ball was hit in between the first baseman Clevenger and the second baseman Vertulo on the ground. Brandon Durbin, the right fielder, got it in quickly, but not quickly enough to avoid runs scoring. James Diamond scores from third. Tyler Barnott scores from second. Advancing from first to third, Seth Schrader. And on base at first with an RBI single, a two-run single, Frank Sinicola. And here's the second non-visit now. Joe Sablak will be replaced. And it seems the freshman Ryan Sullivan is the one that's come out of the bullpen and who will relieve Joe Sablak. But Ryan Sullivan, he started a game against Grove City in that four-game series they played in the middle of March. Sullivan, a 6'2", 180-pound freshman from Taylorstown, Pennsylvania, went to McGuffey High School. Again, Joe Sablak done. He's given up 4 singles to start this inning. Nobody out. Top of the 7th. It's 4-2. Waynesburg leads Westminster.
Sablak up to this point pitched a really good game, but I mean the throwing for 7 straight innings puts wear and tear on your arm.
Joe Sablak, the numbers as of right now: 6+ innings pitched, no runs given up on 7 hits. He struck out 5 and didn't walk a batter. But the only issue for Sablak right now is that the 2 runners on base are his responsibility. So, oh, excuse me, he gave up 2 runs. My apologies. Right now he's given up 2 runs, but the other 2 runners on base are still his responsibility. So his earned run total has not been officially calculated yet. And that fate will be decided by the pitcher on the mound, Ryan Sullivan, who's the first out of the bullpen for Waynesburg. No serious action for Westminster's bullpen right now either. Logan Exler, as far as we know, is still doing the pitching for Westminster. He started for them. Gave up 4 runs to this point. Here are the score lines right now for both teams. For Westminster, 2 runs scored on 7 hits, 3 errors committed. Waynesburg, 4 runs scored on 8 hits, and no errors committed. Those are the numbers right now in this top of the 7th inning of 9 innings. Looking ahead at Waynesburg's schedule, as of right now, the Chatham series that was scheduled to take place on the weekend of March the 27th has not been rescheduled yet. So right now, Waynesburg, after the Westminster series, is anticipating a series against Washington at Jefferson that will start on Saturday, April the 10th, and will move into Sunday, April the 11th. Cooper Krosick at the plate with runners on the corners and nobody out. It's Seth Schrader on third, Frank Sinicola on first. Righty on righty matchup. Ryan Sullivan, the newly entered pitcher into the game. First pitch fouled back toward the screen behind home plate. And the count is 0-1. But Waynesburg, after this 2-game set, will have an off day tomorrow, and then they'll play the final 2 games of the series against Westminster in New Wilmington on Monday, this coming Monday, April the 5th. No ball, 1 strike count, swing, and a ground ball left side, just foul, about 5 feet away from the third base bag on the ground. Ryan Sullivan ahead in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Cooper Krosick, the third baseman for Westminster. He's the one at the plate right now, batting in a run-scoring opportunity. Sullivan's kick and pitch, swinging a foul ball. Looked like a changeup. I think it's fouled toward the right side. Count still 0-2. Ryan Sullivan throwing from the stretch, has a long leg kick with his left leg after he comes set and delivers. Comes set at the chest. Sullivan's 0-2. One more time. Strike 3 called. Over the outside edge of the plate. Cooper Krosick down on strikes. That's the first out of this top of the 7th inning, and here comes the number 9 hitter now. It's Vincent Morelli, the catcher of Westminster. In this game, Morelli is 0-2. He flew out to left in the 3rd inning and struck out swinging last inning, the 6th. Breaking ball misses too high, counts 1-0 on Morelli. 2 runs in for Westminster in this half inning. 4 singles to start the inning off Joe Sablak. Then Sablak got replaced by Krosick. Sablack got replaced by Sullivan, who got Krozik to strike out looking. And now Morelli's at the plate, runner still in the corners. 1-0 pitch misses inside, counts 2-0 now on Morelli. But it's Seth Schrader on third base and Frank Sinicola on first. 2-ball, no strike count. Middle of the infield playing at double play depth, so they're cheating toward the second base bag, leaving some gaps open on each side of the infield. And then the third baseman, Mike Evans, is playing even with the third base bag, and Clevenger at first is holding on the runner, Sinicola. 2-0 count. That's in the dirt, blocked by Lee. Well, keeps it in front of him. But Vincent Morelli way ahead in the count now. It's a 3-ball, no strike count on Morelli. And the top of the order due up next for Westminster. It's Austin Webb right now, the leadoff hitter, who is standing on deck for Westminster. Righty on righty matchup. 3-ball, no strike count with 1 out. That's a strike right over the middle of the plate. Counts 3-1. Score is 4-2. Waynesburg leading Westminster in this baseball game. Top of the 7th inning of 9 innings. Runners on the corners for Vincent Morelli at the plate, and he's in a hitter's count. 3 balls, 1 strike. And still just 1 out. Strike 2 called at the knees on the fastball, and now the count run full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Potential go-ahead run at the plate for Westminster with 2 on and a 2-run ball game. Runner goes from first. 3-2 pitch is swung on line. Caught at shortstop. Caught at shortstop by Ty Kildow. And then Kildow tagged out the runner, Frank Sinicola. So a line drive out of Vincent Morelli is the second out of the inning. And then Frank Sinicola tagged out after trying to steal second base. He had to tag up anyway, so he's out. And the inning has come to a close. So for Westminster, 2 runs scored on 4 hits. No errors committed in the inning and 1 runner left on base. 7th inning stretch time here at the Waynesburg University Baseball Field. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Waynesburg leading 4-2. You're listening to WCYJ, simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ FM, simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. I'd like to apologize to Mike Bell. There's a receiver in the NFL named Mike Evans, and for some reason I related those two in my head. I made that mistake last broadcast, and I did it again today. So my apologies to Mike Bell. But 3-4-5 hitters do it for Waynesburg. Mike Bell, the one leading off. He'll be likely followed by Brandon Durbin and Chris Lee. Waynesburg leads this game 4-2 against Westminster. Bottom of the 7th inning now of a 9-inning game. Logan Exler still on the mound for Westminster, throwing to Evans, or throwing to Bell. Throwing to Mike Bell. That's ball 1. Lefty on lefty matchup. Logan Exler, the left-handed pitcher, facing the left-handed hitter Mike Bell. That's a breaking ball. Caught a strike over the outside edge. Counts 1-1 on Mike Bell. Mike Bell 2 for 3 in this game. He got singles in both the 3rd and 5th innings. 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball in the dirt. Check swing by Bell. But the home plate umpire appeals down to the third base umpire, to which third base umpire confirms no swing. Counts 1-2. Nobody throwing for Westminster. So Logan Exler right now the man who is projected to get through the 7th if he continues to pitch well. Count 2-2 now on Mike Bell. Logan Exler, 2 earned runs given up of 4 total. And he's given up 7 hits to Waynesburg. Hasn't walked a batter yet, though, this game. Neither starter Joe Sablack nor Logan Exler has given up a base runner to a walk. That breaking ball misses in the dirt, running the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Mike Bell. Nobody out yet in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 4-2. Waynesburg leads Westminster. Exler throwing from the windup. 3-2 pitch coming. Breaking ball chopped on the ground first base side. Played by James Diamond, who steps on the first base bag himself and puts out Mike Bell to start the bottom of the 7th inning. So 1 out, and now Brandon Durbin, the cleanup hitter, comes to the plate. Durbin 3 for 3 with 3 singles in this game. And no bat with the bases empty and One out. Now timeout called. The ball will be taken from Logan Exler. Nobody was throwing in the Westminster bullpen, but it seems that one of the pitchers from the bullpen is going to take off a jacket and go out to the field. And that player is designated as Colton Banfi.
Exler looking like he's limping a little bit as he enters the Westminster bullpen.
Either way, he is out. Excuse me, it's Banfi, but Colton Banfi is a 6'2" freshman from Harrisville, Pennsylvania. Went to Franklin area high school. And he's a right-handed pitcher. The next two batters for Waynesburg are right-handed hitters. So it seems that this is a matchup move. Mike Bell was a left-handed hitter, so leaving Exler in made sense because it was a lefty-on-lefty matchup. But now, as a matter of fact, the next three hitters, so even if one of these next two doesn't get out, Joe Kraft is also a right-handed hitter, so the next three hitters are right-handed hitters, which would favor the pitching matchup for Westminster. But in this pitching change, we'll take a look at Westminster's road ahead as well. Their next game's coming up. They'll finish with Waynesburg on Monday, and then next weekend they'll play a 4-game series against Bethany scheduled to start Saturday, April the 10th, and that will move into Sunday, April the 11th. So, again, Westminster, after the Waynesburg series, will play next weekend against Bethany College. Take a look at the standings again as well. These are the bottom two teams right now in the PAC. Westminster 2-7 PAC record, 4-8 overall. Waynesburg 1-5 PAC record, 2-6 overall. Each PAC team will play each other 4 times in one series and then move on to another opponent. But only 3 of the 4 games will count toward their quote-unquote PAC record, which will determine playoff seeding when that time comes around. Brandon Durbin up to the plate now. 1 out, bases empty. That pitch popped up. First pitch of the plate appearance is popped up and fouled down the right field line over the fence. And that'll make the count no balls and 1 strike. Westminster last half inning threatened to score. They had runners on the corners with less than 2 outs, but number 9 hitter Vincent Morelli lined into a double play, which ended that rally that Westminster had, but they still put up 2 runs, cut the lead in half. Scores now 4-2. Waynesburg still leading. Second pitch of the plate appearance called a strike over the outside edge. That'll make the count no balls and 2 strikes. Here's the windup and pitch. That ball hit in the air, out towards center field. Straightaway center. That ball caught out there by Schrader. So 2 quick outs for Westminster in this bottom of the 7th inning. That'll bring up the number 5 hitter for Waynesburg, Chris Lee. But Logan Exler, the official line score for him, he pitched 6 1/3 innings. Gave up 2 earned runs, 4 total on 7 hits. He struck out 4, walked 0. And he's done. It's Colton Banfi in the game now. That first pitch to Chris Lee misses outside, just a bit off the plate, counts 1-0. Chris Lee, a senior on this team, graduated from Bethel Park High School, and is a friend of up-and-coming superstar pitcher Mason Miller. Mason Miller pitching at Gardner Webb Division I program. When he was at Waynesburg, he was throwing in the low 90s. Now he's got a fastball that allegedly comes in at an average of 98 miles per hour. That's my alleging. So I just hear from everybody he's throwing 99. That pitch called a strike on Lee, counts 2-1. Called a strike at the knees, but throwing consistently at 98 miles per hour with a devastating slider that's reaching close to 90. And from what I'm hearing, he's projected to be a top draft pick in this next Major League Baseball draft. That ball popped into the air by Chris Lee on the left side of the infield. Running for it in a hemisphere shape is the shortstop, Merjanovich, who ends up making the catch eventually as the wind swayed it in the air. But Waynesburg goes down 1-2-3, no runs, no hits, and nobody left on base. After 7 full innings, it's Waynesburg 4, Westminster 2. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ with a simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ, Waynesburg University's radio station. You may also be watching the simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. New pitcher in for Waynesburg. Waynesburg leading this game 4-2 over Westminster as we're coming to the 8th inning. But Zach Straub, the left-handed senior pitcher, is now pitching for Waynesburg. Mentioned Chris Lee is a friend of Mason Miller's, as is Zach Straub. They all three of them graduated from Bethel Park High School. But you're looking at a former high school pitcher-catcher battery combination here. Chris Lee did catch Zach Straub when those two were in high school, and Zach Straub, the third pitcher to come into the game for Waynesburg, second out of the bullpen. Zach Straub, a rather tall, lean figure on the mound. Straub, 6 foot, 220 pounds. He'll have the top of the order to deal with for Westminster coming into this half inning. It's the top of the 8th. Austin Webb, Dawson Porter, and Logan Mrjenovich, the three scheduled to bat in this top of the 8th inning. But Ryan Sullivan came into the game to relieve Joe Sablak in the 7th. That first pitch just a bit low, called a ball. Sullivan pitched one full inning, gave up no hits, struck out one, gave up no runs in his inning of relief. The numbers on Joe Sablak officially tallied as well, as that pitch called a strike over the outside edge, counts 1-1 on Austin Webb. Joe Sablak, 6+ innings, gave up 2 runs on 7 hits, struck out 5 in his outing. That pitch misses down low, counts 2-1.
Wind's picking up here.
Yeah, it's coming from our right. So in relation to the field, it is moving toward left field. And a bit back toward home plate. 3-1 pitch. That last pitch missed in the dirt. And the one following that misses low as well. It's ball 4. Leadoff walk issued to Austin Webb. And that is the first walk issued by any pitcher for either team in this game. Comes in the 8th inning from Zach Straub. Here comes Dawson Porter now for Westminster, the number 2 hitter in the order. He is 2 for 3. He hit a double in the first and singled in the 6th. That pitch fouled off behind home plate. Count is 0-1. So Zach Straub pitching now. 2 runs given up by Joe Sablak, the starter. Ryan Sullivan pitched a full inning of relief, and he gave up no runs. No ball, 1 strike count. Fastball too high. Counts 1-1. Zach Straub, the left-handed pitcher, facing the right-handed hitter, Dawson Porter. Austin Webb walked to begin this half inning, and he leads off first, being held on by first baseman Justin Clevenger. Sharp ground ball. That is foul just to the left of the third base bag. And the count is now 1-2 on Dawson Porter. Waynesburg leads this game 4-2. It's at the top of the 8th inning. Westminster the opponent. Waynesburg playing at home here, the Waynesburg University baseball field. Straub from the stretch, breaking ball in the dirt, but the home plate umpire says that Dawson Porter swung at the pitch. He committed to the swing, so that's a strikeout of Dawson Porter. First strikeout for Straub in this game, and the first out of this top of the 8th inning. So with 1 out and Austin Webb on first, Logan Mrjenovich will come to the plate. Right-handed hitter facing the left-handed pitcher, Straub. Slide step from Straub, but that ball's in the dirt. Away from Lee. Couldn't get a handle on it, which allows Austin Webb to advance to second on what will be scored a wild pitch. So a runner in scoring position now for Westminster in their heart of the order. Due up, 3-hitter up now for Westminster, Logan Mrjenovich. 1 ball, no strike count. Straub kicks and pitches. That one just a bit high and maybe a bit inside as well. That'll run the count to 2 balls and no strikes. Austin Webb led this half inning off with a walk, and then Dawson Porter struck out. Austin Webb advanced to second on a wild pitch. Now a hitter's count on Mrjenovich, the one at the plate. That one called a strike over the outside edge. Now the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Waynesburg leading this game 4-2 against Westminster. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ. I'm Nicholas Callas. with Darian Allensworth. That one hit well out toward left field, toward the corner, and that will go foul. It hit off of the fence, 20 feet away from the foul pole in left field. So it'll just go down as a long foul ball. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Logan Mrjenovic. Zach Straub started this inning in relief. And the potential tying run for Westminster at the plate with a runner in scoring position. Breaking ball on the ground left side, again foul. Past the third base bag. Count remains 2-2. Zach Straub over the years was regarded by Mike Humiston as a starting pitcher. Although over the years he's really only made relief appearances. He's also struggled with injury in his time at Waynesburg, which has limited his playing time. And of course COVID-19 didn't really help that either. Missed most of last season. Did the entire team because of COVID-19. That pitch misses inside. Count run full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Logan Mrjenovic. Right-handed hitter facing the left-handed pitcher. Breaking ball misses in the dirt, gets away from Chris Lee. That's ball 4, but another advancement on the bases because of the wild pitch. Advancing from second to third on the play, Austin Webb. Another wild pitch thrown by Straub. And the second walk issued by Straub puts Logan Mrjenovic on first base. And timeout called now. Mike Humiston making the slow walk across the third base line, and it seems a pitching change will be made here. But Zach Straub officially in for a third of an inning. Both runners on base are his responsibility, so no official run total for him yet, but 1 strikeout, 2 walks, and no hits given up. So we'll see what happens there. But a new pitcher coming in for Waynesburg, it's Cody Ray. So here's what will happen in the lineup, because if you've been listening for a while, you know Cody Ray has been the designated hitter. So what's going to happen now is Waynesburg is going to forfeit the designated hitter spot. So Cody Ray was hitting for all the previous pitchers that came into the game, but now Cody Ray will be the listed pitcher, and Waynesburg no longer has a designated hitter in their order. So every pitcher that may come into the game in the future will have to bat. So Cody Ray will continue to bat as long as he pitches, but once he's taken out, the pitcher that replaces him will bat in the lineup.
Still wondering a little bit why they didn't let Ryan Sullivan close out or finish the game, come back out after closing out the bottom of the 7th.
He pitched well, and Waynesburg hasn't played in a game since the weekend of March the 20th. But Cody Ray, the right-handed pitcher, moving from the designated hitter position to a committed pitching position. He's a 6-foot junior from St. Clairsville, Ohio, went to Union Local High School. Every other position for Waynesburg University stays the same. It's just the designated hitter role again forfeited, and Cody Ray acting as the pitcher. And now the pitcher's spot is in the lineup. But the hitters that Cody Ray is expected to face coming up, 4, 5, 6, James Diamond, Tyler Barnott, and Seth Schrader. There is 1 out. Waynesburg leading this game 4-2 in the top of the 8th inning. But the potential go-ahead run is at the plate, and it's the cleanup hitter for Westminster, and James Diamond. Austin Webb is on third base. He walked to reach. Logan Mrjenovic is on first. He also walked. Both walks issued by Zach Straub. Cody Ray facing his first hitter of the game. That pitch misses low and outside. A breaking ball, counts 1-0. So righty-on-righty matchup. Cody Ray, the right-handed pitcher, facing the right-handed hitter, James Diamond. Average lead on first by Logan Mrjenovic. 1-0 count. Swing and a pop-up. Right side, that'll go foul into the street. Count is 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike count with 1 out. Westminster scored 2 runs on 7 hits. Waynesburg 4 runs on 8 hits. Up to this point in the game. 1-1 pitch slide step from Cody Ray. That one in the dirt. A backhanded scoop by Chris Lee keeps Marjanovic on first. Counts 2-1. Mike Bell on third, playing even with the base. The middle infield is in double play depth, and Justin Clevenger, the first baseman, is holding on the runner. The outfield is playing a bit deeper than standard. That ball lined to Mike Bell at third base. He makes the catch. So James Diamond out. He's recorded as the second out of this half inning. Tyler Barnott, the 5-hitter and right fielder of this Westminster team, is coming up to the plate now as a right-handed hitter facing the right-handed pitcher. 2 outs, runners still on the corners. It's Austin Webb on third, Logan Marjanovic on first, and now Barnott is representing the potential tying run. Cody Ray steps off. Runners retreat back to their bases. And Ray steps back on. Comes set at the belt. Breaking ball over the knees, called a strike, counts 0-1. Tyler Barnott in this game is 1 for 3. His last hit was last inning. It was a single in the 7th, and he later came around to score Westminster's second run of the game. He was the last runner to score for Westminster up to this point. And that one called a strike, counts 0-2 over the lower outside corner, so Tyler Barnott down to the count. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Waynesburg leads this baseball game by 2 against Westminster in the top of the 8th. Here's the pitch in the dirt, blocked by Chris Lee. Even though he kept it in front of him, Logan Marjanovic decided to try to take the extra base, and he will. That'll go down as a wild pitch on Cody Ray. So that puts both runners in scoring position. And it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count on Tyler Barnott, but more important part for Westminster is now the potential tying run is in scoring position. Check swing on that breaking ball in the dirt. Chris Lee kept it in front of him. No advancement from either runner. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Tyler Barnott. Chopped on the ground, off the plate, and then it goes fouled on the third base line, so that'll keep the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tyler Barnott for Westminster is a graduate senior. He went to Bethel Park High School, around the same age as Mason Miller. Very well might have played with the catcher for Waynesburg, Chris Lee. 2-ball, 2-strike count on the ground, sharply hit to Mike Bell at third. Plays it in between his legs, then throws over to Justin Clevenger, recording Tyler Barnott out at first. And the bullpen for Waynesburg escapes danger. Cody Ray gets out of the inning and prevents either of the runners on base put there by Straub from scoring. So for Westminster, no runs scored on no hits. There were 2 walks in the inning and 2 runners left on base. After 7.5 innings, Waynesburg leads this baseball game 4-2 against Westminster. You're listening to WCYJ with a simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. You're listening to WCYJ FM, your home for everything Waynesburg. It's Waynesburg University's radio station. You might also be watching the simulcast on the PAC Digital Network. I'm Nicholas Callas. Darian Allensworth with me. Also, Tyler Zeman, a part of our broadcasting team today. Bottom of the 8th inning coming around. Waynesburg has 6, 7, 8 hitters due up this half inning. Joe Kraft, Justin Clevenger, and Evan Homicid. Still Colton Banfi on the mound for Westminster, right-handed pitcher. Came in to pitch a third of the way into the 7th inning, and now he's starting this 8th inning out, facing the right-handed hitter Joe Kraft to start this bottom of the 8th inning. Breaking ball misses outside, counts 1-0 to Joe Kraft. Kraft this game is 1 for 3. He hit a single in the 2nd inning. Then he got out in both the 3rd and the 6th innings, which are his most recent at-bats. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. Big hack from Kraft. Counts 1-1. So the final totals on Logan Exler of Westminster. Pitched 6 1/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs on 7 hits, struck out 4. 1-1 pitch coming to Kraft. Breaking ball misses low. Counts 2-1. But Banfi on the mound now. He got the final 2 outs of the 7th inning. And now he's pitching into the 8th. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Too high on the fastball. Counts 3-1 now on Joe Kraft. Westminster scoreline, 2 runs on 7 hits. They've committed 3 errors. Waynesburg, 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Inside ball for Joe Kraft. Starts this half inning off with a walk. So this 8th inning, both teams issued their first walks of the game. Both starters, Joe Sablak and Logan Exler, did not walk a single hitter. And after 7 innings, now the walks are starting to come. 2 walks were issued by Zach Straub in the top of the 8th inning, and Colton Banfi starts this bottom of the 8th inning off with a walk as well. So a pinch runner coming into the game for Waynesburg. Joe Kraft out. Ryan Mills will run for Joe Kraft at first base. So Ryan Mills, the one on first base, now running, and Justin Clevenger, the one at the plate for Waynesburg. Clevenger is 1 for 3 in the game. He singled back in the 6th. Mills a sizable lead. Banfi's pitch to Clevenger's outside, ball 1. Clevenger, the left-handed hitter, facing the right-handed pitcher. And I know I said Westminster as a team committed 3 errors, but to be more specific, all 3 errors were committed in this game by Westminster's third baseman, Cooper Krozik. Committed 3 errors and charged more runs to starter Logan Exler than were earned. Exler gave up 4 runs total, but only 2 runs were counted as earned. That pitch called a strike over the outside edge on Clevenger. Count even, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ryan Mills on first base. Still a game in reach. It's 4-2. Banfi steps off the mound and time called, so Morelli is going to go talk to his pitcher Banfi. So this inning started with Joe Kraft walking on 5 pitches. And after Kraft got to first, he was replaced with a pinch runner, Ryan Mills, who's a senior on this Waynesburg team. Also played soccer for Waynesburg University. Banfi's back on the mound. It's a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Justin Clevenger with Mills on first. Breaking ball, that's outside. Count is 2-1. Mills jerked towards second base. Kind of pivoted, scared the defense a bit, but he did not try to steal, so he's still on first. 2 ball, 1 strike count now on Justin Clevenger, who's a freshman, has regularly played first base, but has also done some pitching for this Waynesburg team. He's a straight-up lefty, throws and bats left-handed. Pickoff attempt to first, and back safely is Ryan Mills. Colton Banfi on the mound for Westminster. Another pickoff attempt to first. This one more quick than the last, but same result. Ryan Mills safe at first. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Bottom of the 8th inning. Waynesburg leads Westminster 4-2 in this baseball game. That one outside counts 3-1. This is President's Athletic Conference baseball. Between the bottom 2 teams in the standings right now, Westminster, the number 9 team of 10, and Waynesburg last. 10 of 10 teams in the standings right now. And only 1 team in the PAC left undefeated. It's Washington and Jefferson, who's in first. They have a 9-0 PAC record, quote-unquote, and then an overall record of 12-0. That fastball on 3-1 misses outside. Ball 4 issued to Ryan Clevenger. So back-to-back walks issued to Waynesburg hitters brings up Evan Homison, the number 8 hitter, with 2 on and nobody out. Evan Homison has struck out twice in his 3 at-bats. He has no hits. He's 0 for 3 coming into this plate appearance. Timeout called. Banfi steps off the mound, and coach comes out for Westminster to give a meeting. Well, just to review the schedule for Waynesburg, they will finish up this 4-game series with Westminster on Monday. You've got another game coming up as well after this one. Adam Morganti and Joe Vencel will have the call for you on WCYJ. They'll take you through Game 2. Right now this is Game 1, the 9-inning game. Game 2 will be 7 innings. But this game coming to its conclusion with Waynesburg leading 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th inning. But after the Westminster series, Waynesburg will play the undefeated, as of now, Washington and Jefferson baseball team. That series scheduled to begin on Saturday, April the 10th. And then for Westminster, they will play Bethany College around the same time. That series will start on Friday, April the 10th. Some other events going on today in the President's Athletic Conference for baseball. Washington and Jefferson is playing Geneva. Westminster is playing Waynesburg. Well, that game going on right now. Grove City playing Teal and Bethany playing Chatham. I was just reading down the list until I realized, hey, you're listening to the game between Westminster and Waynesburg. But again, W&J playing Geneva in baseball doubleheader. Grove City playing Teal in a doubleheader. And Bethany playing Chatham in a baseball doubleheader. So up to the plate now, Evan Homison, 2 runners on, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Banfi still on the mound. He throws a pitch inside to Homison. Just missed his body. That's ball 1.
Dangerously close there for Homison.
1 ball, no strike count. It's Ryan Mills on second base. Justin Clevenger on first. Ryan Banfi issued 2 walks to start this half inning. Waynesburg leading this game by 2. The 1-0 is breaking ball that misses low. Counts 2-0 to Homison. Joe Kraft led this inning off of the walk. Then he was replaced by pinch runner Ryan Mills, who's the one on second. Justin Clevenger was also issued a walk. And he's running for himself on first base. Banfi comes set at the chest. Pickoff attempt towards second, and Ryan Mills back safely. So Ryan Mills has been attempted to be picked off 3 times now, 2 from first base and 1 from second. So Westminster wanting to keep him close and make sure he doesn't steal that third base bag. Mills takes a secondary early. Banfi still set, looking back, and time called by Evan Homison at the plate. Ryan Mills was dancing off second, and Banfi wouldn't pitch until Mills stopped dancing, but Evan Homison called time before their chess match could complete.
Just staring at each other there.
Still a 2-0 count, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning. Homison at the plate with 2 runners on. Banfi slide step pitch. That's inside, and Homison way ahead in the count now. It's 3 balls and no strikes on Evan Homison.
I'd like to think Mills is getting into pitcher's head there. Just keeps looking back.
It's a job when you have a quick runner. Can always take your focus off the hitter. Usually slow runners don't get much attention and allow the pitcher to focus solely on the hitter. 3-0 pitch, inside, ball 4. Third straight walk issued by Colton Banfi in this half inning, and a timeout called. Coach comes out to the pitcher's mound, and it seems that Colton Banfi is done.
Head coach for Westminster's baseball team, Patrick Riley, second season as head coach for them. Before COVID, they got off to a 4-3 start, of course, before the break was ensued due to the pandemic.
So the pitcher coming in for Westminster, it's Nathaniel Wilkins. It's a 6-foot right-handed pitching freshman from Hermione, Pennsylvania, went to York High School. Colton Banfi, his day isn't over yet, so Banfi has two-thirds of an inning under his belt. He didn't give up a hit, but he walked 3 batters to start this inning. Also no strikeouts, so the only thing that's on his tally right now with a number that's not 0 is walks. But his runs given up are not going to be calculated quite yet because he's responsible for the 3 runners on base. So how many runs he gives up will depend on what Nathaniel Wilkins does on the mound now. Starting pitcher Logan Exler for Westminster pitched 6 1/3 innings. He got taken out after recording Mike Bell out in the 7th. Colton Banfi got Brandon Durbin and Chris Lee out to end the bottom of the 7th inning. Banfi came back out in the 8th, and he walked the first 3 hitters he faced, Joe Kraft, Justin Clevenger, and Evan Homison, putting them all on base with nobody out, which puts Nathaniel Wilkins in a tough spot right now Again, nobody out, and Waynesburg in prime position to score with the bases loaded. It's 4-2. Waynesburg leads Westminster in this baseball game. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. For Westminster, 2 runs scored on 7 hits, 3 errors committed. For Waynesburg, 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors committed. Ty Kildow, the number 9 hitter for Waynesburg, is set to bat and be the first hitter that Nathaniel Wilkins faces. Ryan Mills is on third for Waynesburg. He relieved Joe Kraft, being a pinch runner. Justin Clevenger is on second base, and Evan Homison on first. There's Kildow. Kildow in this game reached 2 times thanks to an error by Krosick, the third baseman of Westminster, Cooper Krosick. Cooper Krosick has committed all 3 errors by Westminster in this game. Righty-on-righty matchup, Wilkins versus Kildow. Bunt by Kildow, but he pulls back as that pitch misses outside, counts 1-0. Definitely would have been a safety squeeze there. Ryan Mills was not breaking from third base. Kildow also a quick runner, so if he gets a bunt down away from any of the fielders, he could likely beat it out. So the wheels turning for Waynesburg. Kildow shows bunt again, pulls back, and grounds that one through the infield, through the left side of the infield for a base hit. 1 run comes around to score. The second runner is held up at third base. And that's some extracurricular baseball for you there. Ryan Mills scores from third base, advancing from second to third. Justin Clevenger advancing from first to second. Evan Homison on the board with his first hit of the game. It's Ty Kildow. Hit that one in between Krosick, the third baseman, and Mergenovich, the shortstop. Got it into left field, but a good throw out there from Porter. Kept extra bases from happening there. Every runner advanced just 1 base, so only 1 run given up. It's now 5-2 in this bottom of the 8th inning. Out the top of the order up, Cody Ray swings and hits that ball into left center field. High into the air. The ball is caught, though, in left center field by Porter, who's the left fielder. That's out number 1 in this bottom of the 8th inning. So Cody Ray flies out. That's the first recorded out of this bottom of the 8th inning. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Nolan Vertulo, who is 1 for 4 in this game. Waynesburg now coming through the order for the 4th time in this game.
Nathan Wilkins went to high school in Yo, 4-year member of their baseball team and member of their 2019 section championship team.
Right, Nathaniel Wilkins, the one pitching now for Westminster. Righty-on-righty matchup. That ball misses too low to Nolan Vertulo. Counts 1-0. And that run given up on the Ty Kildow single is charged to Colton Banfi. Justin Clevenger and Evan Homison are still the responsibility of Banfi. Wilkins, the pitcher now, is responsible for, well, none of the runners that are, or he's responsible for Ty Kildow, who's on first base. Bunt shown, and Vertulo gets it down toward the first base side. Wilkins shovels it to his catcher, Vincent Morelli. That will record Justin Clevenger out at the plate on the force. So that bunt does not net Waynesburg a run. Nolan Vertulo reaches first base on what will be scored a fielder's choice. Evan Homison advances from second to third, and Ty Kildow advances from first to second. So the base is still loaded for Waynesburg. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning. Waynesburg leading by 3 against Westminster in this baseball game, and Mike Bell, Waynesburg's 3-hitter, will bat. The left-handed hitter will face the right-handed pitcher, Wilkins. Swing and a ground ball right side of the infield. Bobbled at second base by Webb, but he recovers well enough to throw to Diamond at first, recording Mike Bell out. 4-3 put out of Mike Bell ends the 8th inning. So for Waynesburg, 1 run scored on 1 hit in the inning. There were 3 walks issued in that inning, and the bases were left loaded. After 8 full innings, Waynesburg leads this baseball game against Westminster 5-2. We'll go to the 9th. You're listening to WCYJ, simulcast on the PAZ Digital Network. You're listening to Waynesburg University Baseball on WCYJ FM, Waynesburg University's radio station. And you also might be watching on the PAC Digital Network. But here we are at the Waynesburg University Baseball field. Waynesburg leading Westminster. The score is 5-2. Last inning of regulation coming up. Top of the 9th inning as the 6, 7, 8 hitters coming up for Westminster: Seth Schrader, Frank Sinicola, and Cooper Krozik. Seth Schrader is 1 for 3 in his most recent at bat. He singled. That was back in the 7th. That pitch called a strike on Schrader. Count is 0-1. So a defensive change for Waynesburg. Ryan Mills pinch ran for Joe Kraft. Ryan Mills pinch ran for Joe Kraft. Joe Kraft was the left fielder, so Ryan Mills takes over in left. As that pitch is fouled off, the count now 1-2, and substitution. New center fielder for Waynesburg is Zach Boslett, a freshman on this Waynesburg team. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Cody Ray still pitching for Waynesburg. It's a righty-on-righty matchup. Breaking ball, sharply hit on the ground toward third. There's Mike Bell playing it at third. Throws across the diamond to Justin Clevenger. Seth Schrader, the first out recorded in this top of the 9th inning. 1 out now. Frank Sinicola comes to the plate, the designated hitter for Westminster. He's 1 for 3. He reached on a single in the 7th inning for his only hit of the game. Waynesburg leads this baseball game 5-2 against Westminster, top of the 9th inning. 1 out, bases empty. That pitch misses inside, counts 1-0. Score lines right now for both teams. Westminster 2 runs on 7 hits, 3 errors committed. Waynesburg 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors committed. Breaking ball misses outside. The count's now 2-0 on Westminster's number 7 hitter, Frank Sinicola. Cody Ray pitching from the windup. 2-0 pitch coming. Fastball too high on Sinicola. Counts now 3-0. Cody Ray pitched with the tying run in scoring position last inning, the bottom of the 8th. And he was able to pitch out of that inning without giving up any runs on his score line. 3-1 pitch is hit in the air out toward right field, straightaway right. Brandon Durbin is running back a bit, and he catches the ball toward the, over to the side. That's out number 2. Cooper Krozik standing in. Westminster with 1 out left to work with. And I correct myself, it's not Cooper Krozik, it's Mike Grazier. Mike Grazier pinch hitting for Westminster's Cooper Krozik. Mike Grazier is a junior from Austintown, Ohio. And he is standing in with a final out. Westminster has 2 outs, top of the 9th. Waynesburg leading by 3. And that pitch missed high. Count is 1-0. Second pitch hit in the air out toward right center field. Running back for it, Zach Boslett toward the wall. Boslett makes the catch about 10 feet from the warning track in right center field, and that is the ball game. Waynesburg wins against Westminster in game 1 of this 2-game set. Joe Sablack earns the win for Waynesburg, and the loss goes to Logan Exler on the mound, though it's not quite his fault that he earns that loss. He gave up 4 runs in total in his start, but only 2 of them were earned. So he struggled due to some errors by his fielders. Waynesburg tacked on an extra run in the 8th inning, which just bolstered their lead. And Waynesburg wiggled out of a few jams. Westminster threatened to score. They did score in the 7th, but left 1 runner on base. And in the 8th inning, they left 2 runners on base, but they had 2 runners in scoring position, which then represented the potential tying runs, but just could not get them home. In total, Westminster left 6 runners on base in this game compared to Waynesburg's 10. So all about do it here from the Waynesburg University baseball field. Baseball not done yet, though, today. The second game of this 2-game set is coming up within the half hour. Adam Morganti and Joe Venzel will have the call for you. Waynesburg still playing Westminster in that second game, but for now, Waynesburg can celebrate a Game 1 win. Final score again, 5-2. Waynesburg beat Westminster in baseball. For Tyler Zeman and Darian Allensworth, I'm Nicholas Callas. We're going to send it back up to Studio 3A with Chris Hulse, who will break down Game 1 and preview Game 2. You're listening to WCYJ FM.